Hello you guys, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Demi. If you're not new here, thank you so much for clicking on today's video again. Today I think we're gonna do a little bit of a Q&A. I put on my Instagram story the other day some questions. I used the anonymous question box on Instagram to send me some questions so that I could do a little bit of a get to know me or answer the burning questions that you guys have for me. I thought because it was anonymous that it would kind of help people be comfortable asking me questions, because most of my Instagram following right now is people that I've come in contact with at various different phases of my personal life. So sometimes people are a little bit hesitant to ask you questions if you know that they're the one who asked it. So I got some good questions to answer for you guys today. And I got some weird ones too, guys. I got some weird ones, but maybe we'll leave those out. But yeah, I just got myself a Starbucks. It's the lavender oat latte, the matcha one. You should have seen me driving around this city in order to find a parking lot that isn't super busy so that people aren't staring me down when I make this video. But okay, I'm gonna pull up some of these questions and we can get into it. I feel like a good question to start off with is, how is wedding planning going? Wedding planning is actually going really well. For the most part, I've gotten everything done really quickly. We got engaged in January and I got on it right away. So we've got our venue booked. We've got flowers figured out. We're not using a florist. Actually, we're getting them from Costco. So much cheaper. My florist quote was like $7,200. And I think that's actually on the more reasonable side for florists, but I was just like, absolutely not. So we're getting them from Costco. And then we've got our photographer. She's amazing. And yeah, just like little details here and there that we haven't gotten quite figured out yet, but it's not until September next year. So we have a lot of time to figure that stuff out. Our venue offers a lot in the sense that it takes care of our catering, it takes care of tables, chairs, linens, all that stuff. And it's on a beautiful golf course. So I'm very excited about that. So yeah, wedding planning is going really well. And of course, I did just get my dress a couple weeks ago as well. So I'm very excited about that too. Funny story, I found a picture on Instagram of my dress before I had even seen it, before I tried it on or anything. And I sent it to a couple of my girlfriends. And then I was like, this is the vibe that I'm going for my dress. And they were like, yes, amazing. But sometimes when you go into the store, what you decide on is not what you went in thinking that you wanted. I am generally, if I want something, I'm pretty firm with what I want, and that's, yeah, it didn't change for this. I walked into the store, I made sure that I found a place that had the designer. I put in my request that I wanted to try on that dress, and they had it for me, and it was the first dress that I tried on, and I was like, yep, there's literally a picture of me, and I'm standing in the dress, and I'm like, done. So yeah, wedding planning is honestly going really well. I need a DJ. Yeah, I need a DJ still. Those are really hard to find. Well, they're not really hard to find. There's lots of them, but a DJ could make or break your reception. So I'm a little bit nervous to commit to anybody, because sometimes when you ask people how their DJ was, they're like, oh, don't use my DJ, he ruined the night. And I'm like, but then who am I supposed to use? But yeah, I had a weird experience with a wedding planner. I had a planner. I did so many different quotes with her and worked up a whole sheet. I had a meeting in person with her just to kind of go over what I wanted. And she ended up just really randomly ghosting me in emails. And it was very strange. And then probably like 8 weeks later, I think it was like 8 weeks later, she emailed me back and she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Your emails got sent to spam. But it had been the same email thread that we were using the entire time. So I was just like, maybe not. So I'm not using a wedding planner, but because our venue offers so much, it actually ends up being totally fine. yeah, I'm very excited for the wedding. And honestly, it's being so far away, I want it to be sooner because obviously I want to marry him sooner, but it just seems so far away right now. But I'm generally pretty on top of getting my stuff done. So I guess on the topic of wedding, the next one that we can do is tell us more about how you and your fiance met. So Tanner and I technically met five years before we started dating even. He played for a baseball team that one of my girlfriends, she was dating a guy who was playing on the same team as him. So she invited me to go with her to the game. So just one afternoon we went out there. This was his first year solely pitching. So I saw him on the field. He was walking back and forth in between the bullpen and the dugout. And I saw him and I was like, that is the most handsome man I have ever seen in my life. I need to know who he is. So I put my girl detective skills to work very quickly, and I looked up the roster online, and then I found his name. Obviously, it was kind of the beginning of when Tinder was first coming out. So there's some very young girls. They're staring at me. So it was kind of the beginning of when Tinder just first came out, so I didn't have it. So in the back of my head, I was thinking, if this man is single, he's gonna have Tinder, because it's kind of all the rage right now. So I download Tinder, and you know how you can set your location for your radius? I set it to 1 kilometer, and then I just swiped until I found him, and I swiped right on him, and then I just sat there and waited until after the game, obviously, because he was on the field. And probably about an hour and a half after the game, I got a notification that we had matched on Tinder. So, I mean, girls, if you want something, go get it, right? We are getting married. We ended up talking, and just Facebook was the most popular social media platform at that point. So we added each other on Facebook and chatted a little bit here and there, but honestly, after a while, it just kind of phased out into just when you post a picture, I'll like it. When you post a picture, I'll like it, that type of thing. I don't know why I get so nervous, because they're not even looking at me. Like, stop thinking that people are paying attention. I forget where I was at. Oh, okay. Liking pictures here, liking pictures there, and honestly, radio silence other than that for 5 years. Yeah, 5 years we had each other on Facebook and nothing else. And one day, me and my maid of honor, Maddie, were standing in my kitchen, and I was scrolling through Facebook, and I showed her his profile, and I was like, this man, chef's kiss, basically. And she was like, shoot your shot, DM him. And I was like, okay. So I did, and he did not make conversation with me at all, so I kind of ghosted him. And then he found me on Instagram, and he was like, so you're just not gonna reply? And the rest is history. Then we started to hang out when he came home from his season. It was like the beginning of 2020. Let's not remember that time, but yeah. So that is how we met. I wouldn't call it stalking. I saw something I wanted, and I went and I got it. And it paid off, girls. So if you want something, go get it. And it was the best choice I ever made, was to send that DM. So this is your sign. Message him. He doesn't always have to message you first. Okay, this one says, what inspired you to start making videos? This is a good question. I don't know if I have a solid answer for it quite yet. I would say this has been on my mind for a couple of years now, honestly, which is awful, because why didn't I just do it sooner? With my line of work, I'm a dental hygienist. you don't take your work home with you at all. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I'm saying a lot of people's spare time is consumed by the fact that they take their work home with them. So it's not like a lawyer where you take your work home and you're doing research on a case, or you're organizing things, or you're on the phone with people a lot. Hygiene, it's not like that. It's when your patient leaves, your notes are done, you go home at the end of the day, and that's your day. And honestly, I'm very grateful for that. But I guess to more specifically answer the question, I needed a hobby. When I came home, I wasn't doing anything, and I love to watch this kind of content. So I thought, if other people are doing it and I'm loving watching other people do it, why can't I do it myself? I think it was definitely a nerves thing. I think everybody, the idea of posting my life online, I think it's intimidating, but at the same time, stop caring about what other people think. And that's kind of the point that I'm at right now. I like to watch this kind of content, and I'm having a lot of fun making this kind of content. Yeah, I think it'll give me something to be passionate about as well. The thing is, I don't do much in my life. I am a firm homebody, and I don't really go out much to do anything. It's not even like I just go out to, like, say, party or anything. I definitely don't do that, but I just don't get out much at all. So I kind of had a fear that my life would be a bit too boring for a YouTube channel. That's just not the case, because the girls on YouTube that I watch personally, I would watch them take out the garbage and I would be totally fine. I just know that I want community, and I want to connect with people, and I want to create the things that I like to watch for other people. Simple as that. This one is good. I don't really mind this question. I know sometimes people are bothered by this question. It doesn't bother me. It says, do you want kids eventually? Yes, we do want kids eventually. We're gonna be 29 by the time that we get married, and we'll definitely wait until after the wedding to have kids. But we're just in a phase of life right now where we are so happy just being together and being a couple, and just spending time with each other, and being selfish with our time too. Being selfish with our time and what we like to do. And I'm still really selfish with my time with Tanner. Like, I like to be just us, and I want to enjoy that phase of our life where it's just us for now. And I know that kids will add so much happiness and joy and fulfillment to our life, but it will be a few years down the road. Like, I would say 3 to 4 years away. And I just like the idea of spending time with each other and exhausting all of the things that we want to do together before we add another little person into life. But yeah, it says, I'm interested to know more about your skincare and how you combat breakouts. So I would be lying if I sat here and told you that I found the best skincare routine. It cleared up all my acne. I didn't. I went on Accutane. I swear I tried everything under the sun to help my acne. I did elimination diets. I avoided dairy. Just so many things, especially that are kind of trending on YouTube and TikTok, and like this health craze that has steered us away from so many things to potentially cure your acne. For me, nothing worked. The birth control that I was on was technically supposed to be the one that would help with acne. I got a referral to my dermatologist, and she put me on Accutane. As for avoiding breakouts now, because 1, I am off Accutane, and 2, I am also off birth control. I know that people have had horror story experiences with acne coming back after birth control. After all the medication that I've been on, it is about consistency and simplicity when it comes to kind of keeping your skin under control. Stop mixing up your skincare routine. I want to preface this and say I am in no way, shape, or form a medical esthetician. I know only my experience about what my skincare experience has been, but simple products, and also, I hate to say it, but avoiding Sephora skincare. I know that they seem really exciting and fun to use, but oftentimes there's not a ton of active ingredients in them, or at least a concentration of active ingredients in them to make a difference for your skin, and they end up just being really expensive irritants, in my opinion. So something that has really helped me is consistently double cleansing my face. So I use a cleansing balm first, and then I go in with a foaming cleanser. The cleansing balm, I've actually been really enjoying the Naturium one that I got, but before that I was using the Elemis Pro Collagen cleansing balm. That one's amazing and it feels like you're at a spa. Takes your makeup off amazing, and then go in after with a foaming cleanser. I just use the moisturizing foaming cleanser from CeraVe. As for things that stay on your face, that is what my dermatologist told me is the important part. And I have a azelaic acid serum that I use. That is prescription from her. And I also have a 0.25% retinol serum from her. I would say the retinol is what keeps my skin free from texture. The thing is, don't add random things into your skincare. Keep it really consistent. I would say if you have not used a skincare routine for 3 to 4 months, you don't know the actual benefits that it could be giving you, and your skin hasn't had enough time to get used to it. Again, I'm not a professional, that's my personal opinion, and that is my experience with things. Every time I switched up my skincare routine too often, I would have some type of reaction or it would break me out. Moisturizer is just use what's good for your skin type, honestly. I use the Weleda Skin Food, the full-on thick cream. I put it all over my face, and I also use an eye cream. So consistency, do it for long periods of time. Don't add random things into your skincare routine. You don't need a whole bunch of fancy stuff, in my opinion, especially coming off of Accutane. Your skin is very fragile, so you need to be really consistent and gentle with your skin, in my opinion. So yeah, that is, I digress. That was a rant and a half. You probably didn't need to know my entire skincare routine in one video. This will probably be the last question. Okay, so this last one will be a good one to finish off the video today. It says, how do you handle being in a long distance relationship? So my fiance Tanner and I, we do long distance for 6 months out of the year. He is gone for his baseball season, and during that 6 months I am home. I don't go with him, and he does not get to come home during that period of time. So it's 6 months on, 6 months off. We've been doing that for 4 years, and this year in particular, he has been gone for 11 months out of this year. We've gotten very slim pickings of time together this year, but in that case, that's a perfect example of Tanner and I's relationship is very strong. We have built a foundation of really strong trust for each other, a raging sense of loyalty. I think that it's a really important part of, if you're going to be in any relationship, there needs to be such unwavering loyalty in your relationship that you would never put yourself in a situation that would put that at risk or anything. And it's just very important. Both him and I have had endings to past relationships that have been because of inconsistent loyalty, we can call it. And I just think that we both made it very clear to each other at the beginning of our relationship that that's not something that we were, one, willing to go through again, and we would also never do it to the other person. So establishing those expectations at the beginning of your relationship. I think that people really miss their shot when it comes to creating that healthy relationship and healthy boundaries by waiting too long into the relationship, where you've already kind of created this acceptance and capability of behavior that maybe you're not very impressed with or doesn't make you comfortable in the relationship. Establish that as soon as possible, expectations in your relationship of trust and loyalty and what you want out of a relationship. And I think that will set you up for success when it comes to being in a long distance relationship. An important part of this is recognizing that all of these things that you're going to be doing for each other are with intention to build trust in the relationship so that you have an easier and smoother time during that long distance period. For periods of time during the day, Tanner and I had a 15-hour time difference when he was in Australia. Then you don't have these things going on in the back of your mind, like, what are they doing? Who are they talking to? And just keeping each other in the loop, because I knew what he was doing. I know who he's talking to all the time, right? But if there's red flags in a relationship or a long distance relationship where they're not being truthful with where they are, who they're talking to, that's not your fault and you don't have to deal with that. So I would get out sooner than later, if I'm being completely honest, because once you do find something that is so solid in kind of that area, nothing else really matters, and nothing else can perforate that barrier that you guys have put up in this relationship kind of capsule that you make, which is an amazing feeling, and I hope everybody finds that one day. But that was super fun. I went on so many tangents. It's absolutely insane. So I'm so sorry if this is such a long video. I feel like this definitely could turn into an insanely long video. I'll try and make it an acceptable length for you. But yeah, that is a little bit about me. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate anybody who watches these videos and anybody who comes back to my channel. But I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.